For over 100 years, the A. James Clark School of Engineering at the University of Maryland has hosted a plethora of super qualified students and staff that have fostered growth and innovation in many different fields of engineering. From rocket robotics to innovative sustainability solutions, this has pretty much been what we're known for at the University of Maryland, our engineering school. And this is pretty much what we're known for at the flagship university in the state of Maryland. So why are we a flagship school with no flagship building? Why are some of the largest engineering majors left without the proper, adequate, modern resources that they are allotted? Why is the biggest community meeting space in between a Taco Bell and a Subway? Sorry. Hi, I'm Perry Tagliaferro. I'm actually a civil and environmental engineering major at the University of Maryland right now. And I'm going to tell you why remodeling A. James Clark could lead to happier, more productive students and staff, and could also increase the external interest in the University of Maryland. Firstly, let's talk about mental health a little bit. Any academic will be able to tell you that mental health is paramount to any success at the university, right? You need to be in the right place, and your mind needs to be in the right place for you to be successful with anything. And when you're doing lecture after lecture, graded paper after graded paper, it's really easy to get lost with yourself, right? So you really need to stay connected with your head, connected with yourself. You need to stay in the right state of mind. A study proved in England and conducted in England in 2015 that shows that people actually are happier in a scenic environment, and they actually consider new architecture something scenic. So that proves that actually if we had a more modern architecture inside the building, we would actually be able to have happier students and happier staff. And this happier staff would help foster enthusiasm and inspiration in the department. When you walk into the drab building that is Glenn L. Martin, while it was adequate for the time, the aesthetics just aren't there. And it really isn't kind of what we want it to be with the university. Secondly, probably one of the more important ones, is that the floor plan of Glenn L. Martin hasn't been adapted to what the modern student needs, right? It was extremely adequate for the time with its large open hallways, its closed off classrooms, its lecture halls that are a little detached from everything else. And this was really, really very adequate maybe 40 or 50 years ago. But the students at the University of Maryland actually require a little bit different things as time goes on and as they grow and as the department grows and things like that. Productivity is what I'm talking about. If we remodel Glenn L. Martin, we would be able to establish a lot of more modern architecture trends that are more conducive to productive working, productive group activities, and things like that. I mentioned earlier that the biggest group meeting space that you can really have is like the communal space between Taco Bell and Subway. If we remodel Glenn L. Martin, we'd be able to provide a lot more open space for our students and remain consistent with a lot of our newer buildings. You look at buildings like the Reeb Center and Edward St. John, they have these massive open areas for students to do work, and you don't see anything even close to that in Glenn L. Martin. So if we wanted to remodel it a little more, we could actually be able to create more productivity for students and give more resources to professors and staff. We remodeled the labs, remodeled like the floor plan and things like that. We'd be able to do a lot of different things for our staff and our students that would be more productive for them. We'd be able to give them the tools and resources to be more productive. And finally, if we have this new flagship building, we'd be able to attract more people that are interested in the new flagship idea. Glenn L. Martin not only holds the Department of Civil Engineering, Aerospace Engineering, and Mechanical Engineering, but it also holds the administrative offices for the engineering department as a whole. These administrative offices are actually responsible for giving tours like we're showing here. These tours are actually very important for students coming in, new faculty coming in, new investors in the school. And as a tour guide myself, while not for the engineering school, I know that first impressions make the biggest difference. So when you start out in a school that is an expensive school, it's a state school that has high expectations, you have high expectations for it. So when you go into it thinking that you're going to get a brand new school and you start out in Glenn L. Martin, first impression is immediately lowered. Your standard's down. You're not expecting that this is the standard for everything now. When you remodel the building, imagine looking at the facade of Glen Martin with its brick and concrete exterior, and then looking inside and being pleasantly surprised by the modern interior. And it shows the effort that the university will take for its students to update and renovate. And this building could actually be representative of what our university as a whole. It's well built and established, so you know it's got a lot of things going on, and it's actually like established in itself, but it's new and modern, which shows that the university grows with what it has, which is really what you want from any university. And when you have that, it can attract more people to the university and bring them in. So to sum it up, remodeling Glen Martin would be not only the best choice to increase students' happiness level and professors' happiness level, but to increase productivity and to just update and give the space a new modern feel and a new modern experience for not only the existing and current faculty, staff, and students, but for future faculty and staff as well. I'd like to make this building representative of what we are at the University of Maryland as a whole. We are old, established, we've been here for over 100 years. However, we grow with ourselves. We grow internally and we get better. And that's what I want this building to represent. And the fact that it hasn't been updated at this point is honestly a little inexcusable considering how much this school makes and the endowments and things like that. They have the money for it. It's just a matter of the organization and things like that. And anyone who actually has had the chance to spend time in Glen Martin would be able to tell you that these sort of improvements are the most necessary for the school. And honestly, if you ever get a chance, I think you should take a look. Okay? Thank you for spending some time with me.